we're not really used to nights like that. That was the first time in a while we get the shit kicked out of us. So it took place. Got up this morning, drove all the way over here with the truck and trailer on to the Meadows. You'll note, somebody may note that a couple of people already did. I missed my first drive. It wasn't actually the border. I told the judges it was the border. Kind of. I wasn't telling a lie, but getting to the border was the problem. The QEW, if any of you live in Ontario and driven towards the border, I had left at 9 o'clock in the morning. I like the fact that I was in race 6 and 7. Left at 9 o'clock, and the road from, well, I would say 15 miles of highway was virtually a parking lot. So I had to go through Hamilton, and anyway, I got through the border, and everything was smooth. I got here, looked at the program. As I said, I missed my first drive. Next one was Walk on the Moon. I knew I was going to try and get away behind the favorite, who was the one horse. 5 and 6 were the next two favorites. They were leaving. At that point, I have an option. Drag him off the gate, get away 5th or 6th behind the 1, and follow him. But if he gets away 3rd or 4th in quarter poles, now I'm in big trouble. Now I got to stay in, and I'm probably going to be relegated to last, as the 3 favorites at that point will be sitting 1, 2, 3. I opted to push through, knowing full well that this would necessitate a quarter pole move to the front. And you know, to be honest, Walk on the Moon's a fast horse, but he is a bit of a coward sometimes, right? He doesn't like come out of the 2-hole last week, and he hung the whole way and finished 5th, and then put him on the front tonight. We've seen him get beat on the front with Mario in very similar fashion. He just a trip horse. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what he is. I ended up putting him on the front end, and I get stung a little bit getting over to the half, but I really thought that he should be 1st or 2nd, and he was a very mediocre 5th. But the thing that struck me, I just had this conversation with somebody the week before he won in 53 about him being tired. Does he need a rest? My answer was no. He'll tell us when he needs a rest. Well, I could have taken today as a sign that he needed a rest, but the thing that struck me the most, I thought he was a tiny bit underweight. Tim's caretaker said that he got a little sick 2 weeks ago and come off his feet a little bit. This guy doesn't carry a ton. It's not like he lost a ton of weight. Him and I'm a Lovely Lady have had a long enough year where any weight loss is a dramatic weight loss. So I'm a Lovely Lady, again, 9-hole. She actually raced good for having getting away 10th. It was literally a country mile away at the 3/8 pole. Both those horses seemed adequate today, but knowing that it is November 23rd, 24th, 22nd, whatever it is, I keep thinking about what we were planning on doing with the Glare AM, right? Rather than giving them, you know, racing them into January and giving them 4 months off, 3 months off, why don't we give them a month and a half off, 4 or 5, 6 weeks off, in this case be 4 or 5 weeks off, bring them back, race them through April, and then decide, okay, do we continue to race, do we turn them out, or do we potentially sell them, I suppose, if we wanted to. I think both of these horses are similar. Walk on the Moon, I still think, is a very, very bright 4-year-old year ahead of him, bright future ahead of him. But he does look a little underweight, so I called Wayne Schaefer after and said, hey, can you come pick this horse up? We'll turn him out. You know what? I wrote it to an email to my partners on the horse and made it very clear. He'll be turned out until he gains 100 pounds minimum. That's when he'll be turned out. I would like to see him back in 5 weeks, but I suspect 5 weeks might turn to be 6, depending on it. But Wayne, geez, he really puts a lot of weight on them real quick. So 100 pounds, that's how long he'll be turned out for. I'm a Lovely Lady. If we turned her out for 100 pounds, she'd be out till 2026. She doesn't put a lot of weight on, and she's a small filly. I was happy with her today. Free-legged, no hobbles on today, no problem. She behaved well, did her work well, but she has had a long year. And I was saying to Ronnie Wren after, I said, you know, any of these horses that you have to put on Lasix in the heat of the summer because they bled, they might have 20 starts, but it's almost like it feels like they have 30, right? So I'm a Lovely Lady. Definitely needs a break. Give her a little rest. And then Mama Knows Best of the three of them actually didn't feel like she needed a break. Same place she made, similar place she made a break on Ridge Warren when we get jammed up a little bit. I think it was more mechanical than anything. We have a Murphy blind and a head pull on her because she was running in pretty good in the turns. But there's another side to that coin, right? When you come into the straightaways, they switch leads and go the other way. That left front comes up and touches that left hind cannon bone. She's put a lump on that from racing the last 2 years. And I think it's biting her a little bit. Very similar to a Glarium. Very, very similar to a Glarium. So I don't really think Mama Knows Best looks tired. I think of the three of them, she looks the freshest. Well, she did get to vacation in Harrisburg last week. But we'll turn her out too. Give them, all of them, 4 to 6 weeks off. These three, they're going to be racers throughout the winter into the spring. And at that point, we will reevaluate. And reevaluation was actually why I was coming here today. If I just came here today to race, I would be really depressed right now. But I came here today to evaluate how our horses were, right? I knew 9-hole for I'm a Lovely Lady in with Tanzanite Tricks, who race great, but that's kind of what we sold her to do. We got top dollar for that filly. She's going to win that class. She's going to find a little tussle in the next class or two, but she's a legit filly in there. But having the 9-hole in where you're going to know they're going to go 55, 56 is game over, right? There was no race today. I got away 10th. I sat 10th. I'm an optimistic person, but even I couldn't find a way forward in that race. So I'm a Lovely Lady. Did everything good. I'd say it was a good training mile at the end of her season. She's going to go out now for a bit for that reason. And as I said, evaluating the horses, Mama Knows Best. All three of those horses taking go out for a bit. So and Sue is patiently waiting in the back here. We're going to be heading to Ontario later tonight. What time is it? It is... what time we got here? 5:35. I'll be in Northfield Park at 7:45. I guess I'll just get a pulp, maybe a sub, and then head right back to Ontario tonight. I should be home by midnight. So that's the plan for Anthony tonight. I'll get on the road from the Meadows here in a minute. Yeah, a little depressing, but not really that shocking. As I said, this was an evaluation mission, if anything else. I wanted to see how the horses felt. And Walk on the Moon, Little Light, needs to go out. I'm a Lovely Lady, long year. Rest isn't going to hurt her. And Mama Knows Best, you know what? There's no reason not to rest her. Let's give her a little break. So those three are heading out. So and Sue is heading home. For the first time in quite a while, we don't have anything at Tim's barn after tonight. We'll fork something out. We'll get a horse over to Tim or something. Throughout the winter, I'm sure there's going to be horses that we can shift around from, whether it be Northfield or Mohawk, over to Tim's. I doubt we won't be in business very long. We'll be in business very soon. So so that was the deal on today. That's the deal on the Meadows. I'm heading back right now to Northfield Park, 2-hour drive, pick up the 2 babies, and then head back to Ontario. I'll be in the barn bright and early. A couple of people said they were coming out tomorrow. I'll be there at 8:30. Take care.